I am Joan Latter. I visited Hong Kong in 2017. Here is a little history about Hong Kong. In 1839, a war broke out between China and Britain, and the Chinese lost. 3 agreements were signed between China and Britain. The first agreement said that Hong Kong Island became a British colony after the war. The second extended to Kowloon Peninsula up to Bondi Strait. It was given as compensation to Britain at a later date. This is how Bondi Strait got its name. It showed that one side of the strait belonged to one country and the other side belonged to another. Bondi Strait to the new territories was added on to the British colony after a third agreement. The contract was up to 1997. The father of China, Dr. Sun Yat-sen, graduated as a doctor of medicine in 1892 from Hong Kong Medical School. In 1846, Hong Kong was a small fishing village when Britain took over. In the 19th century was a key time for Hong Kong's development. Under British law and with the people of Hong Kong's hard work, Hong Kong turned to the world's largest trading economy, and they called Hong Kong the Pearl of the Orient. When Hong Kong was a British colony, Queen Elizabeth visited Hong Kong twice. Princess Margaret, Prince Charles, and Princess Alexandra also made visits to the city. USA President Bill Clinton also visited Hong Kong. Upon return to China, the Queen's portrait was removed from stamps and offices. The use of the term royal was no longer used. Instead, references were made to the state. The public holiday for the Queen's birthday was replaced with the public holiday with Buddha's birthday. Let me show you Hong Kong from a typical person's point of view living in the city. Hi everyone, I'm in Heathrow Airport getting ready for the flight to Southeast Asia, and I'll see you soon on the other side of the world. Great place for me to work on my laptop. This is the view of Kowloon out of the window. As you can see, this is all Kowloon. And over there, beyond the harbour, is Hong Kong. I can't really see it from here because I don't have enough money to pay for a VIP room to see the Hong Kong side. I love the bathroom. marble everywhere. I can even watch TV in here. Relaxing. Hello. Those bags are only equivalent to £5 each. They are lovely. This is Sargent Street, one of the markets in Hong Kong. That's the thing with Hong Kong. You get this traditional mall, traditional shopping street, and then you get a great big modern mall. And here it's not a tourist area. This is a really traditional shopping area, local shopping area.
呢個咁大個我都有啦。咁咪 U S。
This is a very common thing in Hong Kong. The markets don't shut at 5 o'clock. They go throughout the night. This is just one of the night markets. It's still not really that busy now. The market goes on and on and on. It's a very long market. You can see how many stalls there are. Nathan Road is it's next street along, and it's the main drag through Kowloon. Look! Oh, Kiwi! I'm now on Sky Droid Calgary, and as you can see, it's really busy. This is how this is very typical of how busy Hong Kong can get. You can get an idea. McDonald's over there. It's everywhere in the world. In the daytime, in the evenings, there are a lot more hawkers around, and it's a lot busier. That's a Monkey King headband just there.
為着知道咗你不要喪膽，所以基督徒你唔好喪膽，努力傳福音，用力傳福音，因為人的價值很尊貴，那麼你的價值好尊貴，人的價值很尊貴，尊貴到一個時代，來到這個罪惡嘅世界，為你為我，為你同為我，為你嘅願意信靠他的人，使我們願意相信佢嘅仁義。
Oh my God, it is so busy. I have 3 footage like that at home, but not in gold. From the restaurant, I've just had some sushi and I am so full. It seems like I'm always eating when I'm in Hong Kong. They have a fast transfer from Shaolin to Chengdu. It only takes me 45 minutes to come to the centre of Chengdu. I'm going to visit some temples in a minute, but first I'm going to fill up my stomach. I am now on a tram for the new territory. I'm on my way to go to a temple now. I am now at Shinto-kun Temple. It looks lovely here. What a pity we can't get through there. Beautiful seating area there. You can see the traditional Chinese roof above there. I was trying to show you the Buddha, but I can't see him anywhere. I found a statue of Buddha. I'm on the bus going round the new territories exploring now. It's only cost 40p per journey. And as you can see all the high-rise buildings out the window. It's really built up. Hong Kong is still, it's a big city, but it's still constantly being built up again. Land is always being created because it's such a big city, and there's so many people, it's constantly expanding. They fill in the sea quite a bit to try and create more land, so they've got more places to put housing and services to cater for all the people. Over there you can see some of them old housing. They used to be 2-story floors before all of these high-rise high buildings. This time I'm having steam bowl, which is a very traditional, very special dish. What you do is you put the food inside, and then you wait for the bit to cook. And then sometimes there'll be food inside the pot already, just you can help yourself to, like veg and fish balls. And sometimes you have snacks as well, which there'll be food around the table. where you can pick up what you like and put it in the bowl. And then you take whatever you like out of the bowl and put it in the sauce. And then if things are cooked, you just pinch something else. Normally what happens is when you put things in, what normally happens is everything floats out and you end up with everyone else's food in your net anyway. So in here we can select bread, we can select vegetables, we can select bean curd, and these are all these sauces, different sauces we can have. So now we have exchanged our rotations to get some more food which is limited. As you can see in front of us, we can help ourselves to pork and chicken and any meat here, but certain foods such as prawns and lamb chops and other things and drinks are limited. So you have to change the vouchers in order to get those particular foods. Selected our things. We'll go back to the barbecue and cook it. So it's a bit like a buffet. And it's a bit like the steam bowl I showed you earlier on in the movie. Now, as you can see, I'm now trying to cook some chicken wings on the barbecue. Now, things are wrapped in foil cooking on the barbecue. They are sweet corn and sweet potato. Sometimes they can be put on the rack, on top of the rack, on top of the coals like they are doing now. Or they can be put almost in with the fire because it won't burn, because the foil protects the food, so they can be in quite close to the logs in the fire. Earlier I did cooking on the skewers but now we are putting food and meat on top of the rack to cook. The lotus flowers are lovely. They grow from the lotus seed underneath. The temple is fantastic, but what it says, we can see the high-rise buildings behind it. The temple, Bowlin Monastery. To begin with, Bowlin Monastery was called Big Thatched Hut. It sits at the bottom of the hill at Nong Ping, just below the statue of Big Buddha. The monastery is surrounded by mountains. Many monks came to practice at Bowlin, as it was quiet and a great place to grow vegetables whilst on the path to enlightenment. Bowlin means precious lotus, which is the symbol of purity in Buddhism. The monastery has always been a centre for education. In 1928, the Hall for Great Perfection was built as a place for meditation. There were so many people who came to worship that it was then decided that it could no longer accommodate the numbers, and therefore it was made into a two-story Great Buddha Hall. In 2000, the Great Grand Hall of 10,000 Buddhas was built in order to promote Chinese culture, sculptural art, and landscape gardening. The building of the Big Buddha statue was decided in 1976. In 1981, building started to commence, and it took 12 years to build him. The statue is one of the largest statues of Buddha in the world, who sits on lotus leaves and looks down upon the surrounding islands and hills around him. Buddha is made of bronze and is 112 feet tall, or 34 meters. It was first shown to the public in 1993 and has become very popular. Leading up to Buddha, there are 260 steps. The Peak Tram was the first cable-car tramway which operated in Asia, and is run by Hong Kong High-Level Tramways Company, and is the most popular way of getting up to the peak. It has been in operation since 1888. As one rides on it, one will be able to view the surrounding nature. In the beginning, the carriages were split into 3 sections for 3 different classes of travel. They were made of timber, and the seats at the front and rear were slanted. Up to 30 passengers could ride on the tram. The tram was fueled by coal-fired boilers in that time. In 1926, electric replaced the coal-fired boilers as power for the Peak Tram. tram. Between 1908 and 1949, the first 2 seats were reserved for the Governor of Hong Kong and could only be filled at the last minute before departure if the Governor hadn't turned up. The tram has been a common feature in photographers' and artists' work throughout time until the end of World War II, when different modes of transport started to become available. So therefore, the tram started to become less of a novelty for photographers. Victoria Peak is a mountain in the western half of Hong Kong Island and is the highest point on the island. In the past, the rich liked going up there because the air was cooler when Hong Kong was a British colony, particularly during the 1800s to 1930s, since air conditioning was introduced in the city. People now go up to the peak to look at the city's breathtaking views, making the peak one of the most popular tourist spots in Hong Kong. It now gets around 7 million visitors a year. A hotel was built on the peak in 1873. However, this was destroyed by a fire in 1938. During the day, you can see the lush green landscape below the peak and the sounds of traffic below the mountain. In the evening, lights shine out from people's windows below to make a beautiful display. Stanley is one of the oldest villages in Hong Kong. It has been around since the Ming Dynasty, 1573 to 1620. When Hong Kong was a British colony, Stanley was the most populated area on Hong Kong in 1841, as it was a military army camp during that time. There are still signs of when it used to be part of the British colony, such as the old Stanley Police Station, which was built in 1859. Murray House is now home to the Maritime Museum, as well as shops selling art, crafts and paintings. Some restaurants and pubs are also inside. Today, one can walk into Murray House, but many years ago, not many people would have been allowed into the building. This is when it was in Central, and this was when it was moved to Stanley. In 1846, it was built as a magistrate court in Central on Hong Kong Island. In 1982, the government wanted to demolish the building. However, the people wanted to keep the historical building, so volunteers marked all of the bricks and took it down. In 1998, the building was moved to the seaside and rebuilt brick by brick, how it used to be in Central, and in 2002 they reopened it. It must have been very hard work. There are so many museums in Hong Kong, I didn't have time to go to all of them, so I just chose one of my favourite ones, Snoopy World. Kai Tak Airport was situated in Kowloon City and was Hong Kong's first airport. It opened in 1925 and closed in 1998 due to not being able to cope with the numbers of passengers coming through. The airport was originally designed to handle 24 million passengers, but there were 29.5 million travelling to the city per year. On the old site of Kai Tak Airport, there is now a sports hub and cruise ship terminal. A brand new airport was built on Lantau Island called Chek Lap Kok, which was opened in 1998 to cater for growing demand for aviation travel. The airport has 2 terminals and 2 runways and has handled over 70 million passengers per year. The airport authority wants to build a 3rd runway in order to cater for the future demand, and which would allow them to cater for up to 102 million passengers a year. The tour has been a great success. I have met a lot of new friends along the way. But now, after the tour has finished, I am really tired and want to go home.